Hello and welcome back to another game of StarLadder Star Series Season 8, Day 12, and it is Game 2. The first of two games that we see today with Alliance, and the second of two games that we see today with RoX.KIS. It is indeed Alliance versus RoX.KIS. Alliance on the dire side, RoX on the radiant side, and I am joined by two gentlemen who will help me provide you with an awesome cast. Of course, we have a statsman. Nahaz will be your statsman today, and of course my co-caster is also here. Mod, it doesn't seem like the tea of yesterday really helped a lot.
Well, that's good. That's always nice to know. Tea very good for your voice.
It didn't.
Oh, didn't?
It didn't.
Oh, well then I'm sorry then.
Already. Yes, so you have to talk a lot.
Alright, well, I'll try my best to help you out here. Of course, it's Alliance versus RoX.KIS, two very strong teams. We talked about it a little bit in the pre-game. Alliance doesn't have their full roster here. You can see that they've got 4 of their regular players. No Admiral Bulldog, however, as Joker, which is apparently Pycat, standing in for them right now. The bans are already coming out. RoX.KIS already played an extraordinarily good game just a couple of minutes ago against the retry. They're going to go for a vastly different lineup, and they're going to grab the Nature's Prophet, which we talked about. Sidori plays that hero to great effect. On the other side, the bans are already coming out. The Elder Titan, good ban, and the Treant Protector, which I'm not too sure about, but it's Alliance, so they can get away with whatever they want. On RoX.KIS' side, they ban out the Visage and the Lifestealer. Anytime you're playing up against Alliance, you will probably ban out that Lifestealer, just because Loda plays it to such great effect. Alchemist and the Crystal Maiden coming out, two very strong heroes. We'll see if they want to play that Alchemist as support, which we see from time to time, but my god, RoX.KIS picks like the most, the Pugna, oh man, that's rough.
Oh, indeed, I mean, just to, like, you can combine these up and they're so annoying to deal already with. Like, if that's gonna be a full push on lineup, which it doesn't even need to be because this is enough push as it is, but this is just two heroes that are very annoying to deal with. You can deal with them, that's fine, but they both require special attention. That's not something that you want to see. Though I do think that Alliance is pretty happy with the Crystal Maiden and the Alchemist, though, as we've seen those make a big difference. And this could still, of course, be Loda Alchemist. It could be S4 Alchemist, like we saw on Tuesday. It could also be, like, that's what I hope, actually, because Alliance on Tuesday, they had an Alchemist, a Doom, and something else that was very tanky. They had a Doom on the off lane. Oh yeah, they had a Night Stalker. Alchemist, Doom, and Night Stalker. Those 3 heroes. It was Loda, Night Stalker, S4 Alchemist, and Bulldog Doom. So in this case, Pycat Doom. They all 3 went for a Vanguard, and they just started pushing.
Glorious. Glorious.
Yes.
I love Vanguard. I love it. And that's Alliance is another team that is ahead of the metagame in that regard. They pick up heroes that do benefit the best from the early game pushing and fighting in 6.79. It's the same with Navi and how they've picked up Bristleback, and they weren't the first to run that, but they've really come to know a lot of the heroes that are good in the scenario. Alchemist Min is another hero that I think can do very well for themselves, because S4 is one of those players that loves playing the initiating role, and he just jumps all over the place. He has unstable. If he gets under Blink, it's another hero that does exactly what, you know, a Bat Rider or Magnus does, and S4, of course, is known for his Magnus play. He does have that hero to, you know, work with if he wants to go for the Alchemist. I think they're going to wait and see what the rest of the draft holds for them before they really decide about what this Alchemist is going to be doing. The Crystal Main's a little bit more already involved. I think EGM should be playing that one. They might grab Aki, something like a Chenner Enchantress if they can get to it, but we will see. Alliance will have a ban here. They already banned the DK. Bristleback on the side of RoX.KIS, as well as the Gyrocopter, another hero of Loda's that they want to take out. You mentioned Loda playing the Night Stalker. They can definitely grab some heroes that are a little bit more unorthodox for Loda. Loda is a hero or a player that can also play a lot of different heroes, so he has a big pool as well. So Alliance, they've got a lot to work with here, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do, but it's going to be tough against really one of the most annoying teams in the world to deal with. Yeah,
let's take a look at how these two teams are doing so far in StarLadder, because Alliance has only played 4 games. But they've won all 4 games. So they're sitting on 12 points. And with today's games, which are 2 in total, and tomorrow's games, which are 4 in total, they will have the chance to reach the top of that list like in 2 days. And of course, for RoX.KIS, we just saw them play. They have played only 4 matches as well. And not even doing that bad. I mean, they have only lost 1 and won 3. So they are very close behind Alliance in that regard. We'll see if Alliance can still remain unbeaten after this match, or if RoX.KIS is gonna surpass them. At least, well, not in points just yet, but if they are gonna be beating them, I mean, with the Pugna and the Nature's Prophet already there, the possibility is definitely there. Although we do see a bit of a change. At least this Alchemist is not support Alchemist. This is gonna be either a mid or carry Alchemist. It's an Abaddon for the second time. RoX will have to deal, or actually, previous time RoX was picking up the Abaddon. Never mind that. Now they'll have to play against it.
Alliances turn to
Yeah, Abaddon's going to be a good hero against specifically like Earthshaker. Pugna is going to be nice to deal with as well. Photic Shield's going to be doing a nice job here, and Abaddon will be able to allow them to fight earlier on, and that's exactly what they need because Nature's Prophet and Pugna are going to be doing the same and just trying to push in and fight. Earthshaker's another hero that can fight early as well. So with the Abaddon pickup, Alliance are feeling a little bit more comfortable and confident in their team. They'll have a little bit more damage as well from the Photic Shield. And you mentioned S4, or excuse me, Alchemist being played mid by S4 or Loda as a carry. I'm not sure which just yet. I think they're going to give it to Loda because he still values that hero very highly, I believe. I'm not 100% sure about it. Oh, just kidding. Alright, I'm wrong, unless this is an offlane Weaver. Okay.
Well, that's the thing, right? With no Admiral Bulldog in there, you don't really know what Pika is going to play. Because he can also play mean carry. And,
true.
I mean, they can go for an aggressive tri-lane with the Weaver on the safe lane. There are, like, it opens up for a lot of different possibilities. For just a bit of well, unexpectedness, a bit of a surprise coming off from the line purely because one player is rotated. I think that's a big edge that Alliance has actually, considering, well, they already have a slight disadvantage for not having Bulldog, but it kind of turns into an advantage if Goblak is not really sure what that person is going to play. Especially not if he's not sure who that actually is, because, I mean, you found out, but did Goblak actually check? Did they
No, Goblak knows. Goblak knows. Any pro player should know. I mean, because they could do what I just did, and they really should know. I mean, you just check your Steam profile. It's not that hard.
True. Probably Goblak has him on his friends list anyway.
Yeah, I'd assume anyways. So, and that's true though. They don't know exactly what to specifically target against this kind of lineup. But on the flip side, you can make the argument that without Admiral Bulldog here, how comfortable is Alliance in playing with Pycat? You know, they have played with each other quite a bit. I mean, they're, like you said, they are of course all Swedish.
Right?
So yeah. I'm pretty sure Pycat is Swedish. I'm like 99% sure about that. But with Enchantress banned out there, Alliance decides to not go for Aki's Enchantress or anything along those lines. Not that they need it. They have 2 supports already. But yeah, I mean, you can make the argument without Admiral Bulldog, that's a lone druid that if they picked up a lone druid here, Alliance would be in a hugely advantageous position just because of how comfortable they are with Admiral Bulldog. Obviously, Nature's Prophet's not available because RoX.KIS takes it. They ban out the Doom on the Radiant side, surprisingly enough, even though it would be good against the Weaver. I don't know if they would have room for it. Kunkka coming out from Alliance. Wow, look at that. I like that a lot. This is a nice lineup for Alliance. This is crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna try to get that Kunkka up against the OD mid, and that does mean that we'll most likely see a Weaver on the off lane. Maybe even a dual lane with Abaddon backing up that Weaver, as we have seen that being done quite often with Crystal Main supporting the Alchemist. It's a pretty greedy lineup though. If that Kunkka doesn't really do all that well in the mid lane, there's not going to be that many heroes that can hold off the push that comes from RoX.KIS. The counter push is of course there. If the Kunkka gets big, he has got that Tidebringer that he can just splash all those creepers with. But, I mean, as a spray, Crystal Nova, it's all nice and all that, but if they don't get that Kunkka ahead, it's going to be very tough for Alliance to get back. So that's going to be an eminent part of this early game. And to counter that, or to help that for RoX, they pick up a Chen. So Goblak Chen, he is gonna be aggressive very early on to try and slow down that Kunkka in his progression.
Yeah, and another thing to note about that Kunkka and about how he's gonna be pushing out waves and things of that nature is that if they get a Necrobook, he can incidentally kill one of those Necrobook creeps and do a bit of damage to himself. I don't know if that's going to happen, and it'd be very, very funny, or I guess it depends on the situation. I mean, if he dies, it definitely wouldn't be funny, but obviously it would be a little bit of a kind of crazy play. But he should be, I mean, with Alliance, they should have enough early game potential to kind of at least slow down the push, if not outright stop it. It is going to be tough, however. You saw last game how good of a job RoX.KIS did in shutting down the Outworld Devourer. They're going to need to do the same thing on the side of Alliance here to be able to shut him down, because he'll be the one doing most of the damage early on in the game, besides, of course, the Pugna pushing through. Obviously, the Nature's Prophet doing a lot of work in split pushing. The early game aggression is there from RoX.KIS, but Alliance has ways to deal with it, with Loda, with EGM on the Abaddon. I think this is going to be a strong game for Alliance, and this game is going to show whether or not they can really take this game, take this kind of strategy, and really, like, are they the masters of 6.79? I think, honestly, they'll do very well for themselves here.
Ship shape. No, sorry. I agree. Let's take a look at who is playing what as S4. I mean, 9-0 record? You're kidding me? I mean, we don't see him on the Kunkka that often, but 9-0. I mean, if he does play it, he wins apparently. So S4 indeed for Alliance will play the Kunkka. Then on the offlane it will be Loda. This time he'll play the Weaver. He will be supported though. EGM on his Abaddon is already around there as the double damage gets denied by the Treant. And on the top lane will be a dual lane Aki on his signature Crystal Maiden, and then the stand-in, it is Pycat playing under the attack of Joker, playing the Alchemist. He'll be farming it up on the top lane.
Yeah, that is going to be the side of Alliance. For RoX.KIS, we have in the top lane as well Sidoi. Nice body blocks coming out for the Nature's Prophet. Roaming to the mid lane, you can clearly see Scandal on the Outworld Devourer. In the jungle currently, GoBlack is going to be on the Chen, and down bottom in the dual lane, you'll have Yol on the, of course, Earthshaker, and to round it all out, BZZ is perfect on the Pugna. So dual versus dual with some help from the Chen, maybe roaming in eventually.
Yeah, and this is a slight edge, of course, for... well, I say slight edge, I see Crystal Maiden in the jungle, but it's a slight edge for RoX.KIS that they do have a solid jungle hero that will farm in the jungle and will get, well, a fourth lane of farm, so to speak. Crystal Maiden can, of course, farm in the jungle, and Aki is definitely trying, but he won't be able to farm as fast as a Chen is able to. And a disadvantage comes for that. If Aki is actually more involved on the top lane, and if that Nature's Prophet doesn't get anything over there, then he can't really rotate into the jungle. So I would like to see Alliance put some more pressure upon the Nature's Prophet, because Sidoi, the only hope he has is this top lane. He cannot really rotate into the jungle, as there is already a rotation incoming. GoBlack just running at S4 with his Satire. That wasn't obvious. That was
and that's
sarcastic.
Yeah, he's not gonna make the mistake of getting ganked like that. He knows that that's gonna happen. They're gonna have a Chen rotate early on, but it's more so GoBlack just saying, hey, I'm here, I'm gonna put pressure on you, I'm gonna make you feel uncomfortable whenever necessary, and he's just gonna do that and back off and head back to the jungle. In the top lane, you mentioned getting roams onto Sidoi, and it's gonna be tough. He does have boots. They do have a Crystal Maiden, so Frostbite is available, but is there enough damage coming out for him to take the kill? With Unstable, I'd say absolutely. They should be able to take a kill here. It's just gonna depend on how careful Sidoi is. Obviously, the creep way's back near his tower, so they're not gonna go on him just yet. But once the wave pushes out, expect to see him at least, if not take damage, then get killed outright. So we'll see if they want to do that down bottom. Lotus farming away, but the last hits are going of the way of RoX.KIS right now. The top three farmers on RoX.KIS' side, but still very early on to really, make a difference here.
Yeah, so far all the cores of RoX.KIS are doing better than their counterparts on Alliance. Loda is trying to keep up, but it's not happening just yet. S4 seemingly having some trouble up against Scandal, who's, by the way, doing a really good job at making sure...
Bottom lane.
Oh, is there going to be a first blood? Perhaps. The shield is already up on EGM, though. He will stay alive. Perhaps BGZ is going to be having some problems. There's not going to be coming a fish out. GoBlack does rotate himself in EGMs. His shield will be popped. Yol, unlucky for him that he's out of mana, will allow EGM to keep on running. The net might come out, though. He's trying, he just doesn't get in range, needs that vision, doesn't get it. Oh my god, the path that EGM is taking is taken him directly towards the OD, who is coming in for this as well. The salve already up on EGM, the hate train, it is able to reach EGM, but it's too late now. This Dark Troll Summoner, wish he could run faster. That is like, it's not really a juke because he was running straight, but it's a good escape from EGM for sure.
Yeah, space created, honestly. That was just... They wasted a lot of time for GoBlack, as well as even Yol. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. I mean, Aki and Pycat combining up to get a kill. You've got a lot of lockdown here, even with boots, which I usually do like on a Nature's Prophet. It's not going to save your life when you're frostbitten and unstable to death. Pycat's also going for Greevil's Greed, so a greedy build, and it makes sense because he's in the farming lane. So already good stuff for Alliance so far.
Yeah, and of course that mana aura from Aki helping out a bit for allowing him to, or not allowing him, but allowing bottom lane to help out, because the shields and the Shakushis are definitely needed for Loda to get a bit more last hits, because even though they didn't die yet, they still need to get those last hits going, because, I mean, they are kind of, in my opinion, having a clock ticking. If they don't get themselves farmed up before the mid game, RoX.KIS could say, you know what, we've got our mechanism on our Chen, we've got our Hand of God, we've got or maybe even mechanism up on Pugna, depending on who is going to build that one, but we've got the levels required to start pushing your towers down, and if RoX.KIS can get those... Wow, that's painful for Scandal, forced to pop a haste one to use his bottle. But if that's gonna happen for RoX.KIS, Alliance, they need to be ready. And right now, I think they're a bit too slow. And maybe we're gonna see a couple of Hannah Midases because of that, but we'll see. To catch up.
It's too early to tell, I think.
Yeah.
Really, the early game has, I think, gone a little bit of the way of Alliance, just because they got that first blood, obviously, and they're having Greevil's greed up on Pycat. So I think really the Otis is on RoX.KIS to make something happen early on in the game. They've got to try to grab a kill on Moda, which they're doing now, and he is going to get a Fodington live. And this is EGM just playing really well, and they're going to get a kill on Moda.
One more hit,
no,
Loda!
Oh my god.
Oh, that was so close. 7 health. 7 health. If that was 1 extra point in Gemini attack, perhaps that would have been a kill. But oh, okay, okay, that was pretty damn close indeed. And that's just the power of an Abaddon in the lane. And normally he cannot spam those shields out all that much, but that aura definitely helps him out. On top of that, he's got 10 stick charges, which he might be forced into using. Never mind, Centaur just threatening right there. But yeah, that was pretty scary. In the meantime, in the mid lane, S4 actually caught up on farm. What are you doing? Pycat running up at Seedoy, starting to hit him, and that's gonna hurt. 1 more hit needed. Oh, he sprouts himself in with the Alchemist. That's not where you want to be. The kill goes to Pycat. With his face boost, he can get himself back very soon. He might be able to get a double damage soon. No, S4 will take it. Even though Joker, Pycat gets a stun up. The double damage rune, Kunkka already torrented. That's gonna be a kill. Couple hits needed. Boom, you're dead. Another kill going the way of the Alliance. 3-0 as they have now taken over the top lane completely. Mid lane, I'd say this time won by S4. Just purely up on that kill because the last hits, the difference wasn't really that big anymore. Just a bottom lane that they haven't really lost yet, but they haven't necessarily won it either. But it's a suicide lane, so who would expect someone to win that?
And with Alliance grabbing that kill in the mid lane, it goes to show how good they are in this game, because that's an excellent rotation. That's Pycat being involved in 2 kills very early on, and even though he's a farming alchemist, he makes himself known across the map. The Astra went on S4 trying to stop him from getting the double damage, but in that case, that means there's no Astra to help out. Of course, the OD to block that unstable concoction, which means an easy kill to hit up after the torrent does connect as well. Now S4 is getting gank. He's got boat. Sedoy is probably dead, more than likely. If he torrents, he's dead, or if he sprouts, he's dead. And well, actually, it looks like they're gonna try to defend this here.
Yeah, Pycat ends up stunning himself. Ooh, random courier flying in, and that's gonna be Seedoy trying for the courier. The box will live. Oh, Trians! Nicely done by Seedoy. He's actually still running for his life. He didn't die just yet. Still a torrent comes out, but Seedoy definitely dodges it. In comes the stun on the Earthshaker though. Yol, I don't think he'll be able to live through it, so they exchange a courier for a support Earthshaker. Not worth it. Perhaps they can get Goblak as well. S4 forced to run past the tier 1 tower, taking quite a beating from that, but will be able to live on, and he does have salve, so he should be safe afterwards. We still have got Goblak in here, and Joker actually, Pycat coming back with the stun being charged up. Stun will hit, Goblak will not live. Another kill going the way of the Alchemist, and now it actually starts to be looking like that kill on the courier might actually be worth it, because kills go on the way of Pycat, as you mentioned. This is immensely scary. He's got his phase up, still gets himself a Hand of Midas at 8 minutes in with phase. That is impressive for sure.
It absolutely is, and Alliance you can really tell when Alliance is playing in comparison to that of other teams here in StarLadder. They just have a complete disregard for towers and a complete disregard for pretty much any sort of normalcy when it comes to Dota 2 fighting. EGM is getting ganked to the bottom lane, he'll Aphotic Shield. He may very well fall. He is so low, he sticked up to make some, of course, room for himself, but he will go down. Nature's Wrath to grab the kill for Seedoy, sadly, is the first death to go the way of RoX.KIS, but they're not done yet. The Fisher, the OD ult, not even necessary.
I think someone got blown up.
Yeah, that's just pure hate on Moda. They just wanted to kill him, and I guess that makes sense too. But
yeah, he had his time lapse up, I guess, but he didn't get a chance. That was just actually really blown up. Pycat though rotating in the torrent up on 2 as well. Yol will be the first one to go down here as S4 tries to take down Pugna, but the kill gets stolen by EGM, who's back in the mix. That's gonna be 3 heroes bottom of Alliance. They just lost 2. X mark the spot. No teleport for you, Seedoy. Welcome back. Torrent will not hit, and he will get sent home by the Chen. So S4 changes target, still gets Sprout up, so can't go for the Chen. We'll just be farming the jungle and go back to the mid lane, I think.
Yep. And he can just continue to farm, or he can continue to look for ganks. They're playing beautifully now, and it's when you have a pushing team and you have an early game fighting team and you're the ones in the back foot, this means that you are really just winning hard, as the other team, as Alliance, is doing right now. They're going to take a tier 1 tower. They are not a pushing team, and they just take the first tower of the game. Because why not? Because they're winning. They're doing very well. I mean, you look at the last 6, the only person beating them is Scandal in mid lane, and he's not had the best time in the world. He did use his ult there to try to get the kill on Moda. Unfortunately, that was secured by Earthshaker, so he doesn't get the gold for it. Sitting on treads, maybe, unless he wants to build towards that Midas. But here we see, again, coming through from PieCat and EGM. Of course, there was that rating ward, so, you know, RoX.KIS knows that they're standing there, and EGM might get ganked. He does have a Photic, but he's got no mana to use it. Nice Fisher block as well.
Yeah, very neatly done. S4 still thinking about coming in, but I don't think they should be going in here, or at least not until they know for sure who they're running into. Oh, actually, who cares about who they're running into? Let's run high ground and see what surprises us, what awaits us. Nice Fisher blocking in a Joker, so he will end up stunning himself. Double damage to no effect for Alliance. And I mean, this is one of the problems that you often see with an OD. Like, he is amazing on a solo lane, right? That's his strength. He basically beats almost everybody. There's only a couple of counters to him. But he does need more than just the laning stage to be going well for him. He also needs a bit of early gold. He needs to get maybe a solo kill on a mid. He needs to at least... He needs more time than your regular mid. A Scandal normally playing those highly aggressive solo mid, like Puck, maybe even Queen of Pain, Templar Assassin, those kind of heroes, and OD just not as aggressive as early as those heroes, and that's something that I feel RoX.KIS right now is struggling with. They don't have their lineup to fight just yet. They only still want to continue to be in the laning phase, and that's not working out for them.
Yeah, Odie's a semi-carry that can do very well in fights early on in the game, but you're right, he does need that next item. A 4-staff or mech is something that he needs before he can really start going to town. And level 2 ult is also really what you're aiming for as well. But you should have an okay fight around the rest of RoX.KIS' lineup, and you can even roam the OD in if necessary to throw up that Sanity's Eclipse. Once you get 1 or 2 points on an Arcane Orb, you're going to get a lot easier time with the OD, but still, I mean, you can see already they're being pressured here. They're losing control of their jungle at just 12 minutes in, and this is just Alliance controlling the map so effectively. If they place wards down, it'll be even better for them right now, but PieCat is already close to his Shadow Blade. His Midas is coming into full effect. You can see hiding is... Oh, look at this cheeky play from EGM and Loda. Wow.
Oh, Courier,
wow.
Hello. That's gonna be Yol. I think he might be dead. Fisher will still land up on both. He'll try to teleport himself out. There's nothing that can interrupt him apart from him dying. Oh, that happened. So that's gonna be... Oh my god. I mean, you're a support Earthshaker. You're trying very hard to sit like in that edge where you are on range of experience, but are not showing yourself because it's nighttime. And then all of a sudden a courier comes out of the forest and you realize, oh shit, they're here, and then you die. As Nature's Prophet just died for Crystal Maiden here on the top lane. That was... Yeah, no, that was a bit sad. PieCat actually running at someone, finds himself stunning up Goblak, who is already torn to them, boated, and that's a kill for S4. Alliance, they are just relentless right now. There's really no mercy coming out from them.
Yeah, even without Admiral Bulldog, they are firing on all cylinders here. I don't expect them to really lose this game, honestly, just because this was an early game lineup and Pugnet's not doing a whole lot. EGM is just saying, I don't care if you decrep me, I can Aphotic. That's fine. Loda's getting as much farm as he is used to, even in the offlane. That's a Midas done for Aki, because Midas gaming, I guess, is, well, it's still a thing. It might not be after this patch. Probably still will be. But then again, I mean, you look at PieCat farming so effectively. His Shadow Blade is done. Solo kills are going to be happening all across the map. S4 is S4. He's level 10 now. He's going to have boat level 2 in just a little while. And this is impressive play coming out for them. I don't know what you can do on the Radiant team, because if you try to push as 5 together, you're more than likely going to lose a team fight, because the boat is not only for the damage, it's also for the rum. So any damage that's done is going to be absorbed for that boat for a couple of seconds. That buff is so very nice, and people kind of forget about it with Kunkka, so...
Yeah, and I mean, RoX.KIS' lineup, oh, they're trying to go for Loda, and they think... Oh, time-lapse just in time! Scandal, not able to get the kill. He's very sad for that one. That was pretty damn close. That, like, one more intellect item would have gotten the kill right there. But not gonna happen. And yeah, RoX.KIS' lineup, they're great at taking down towers. But taking down heroes, not so much. Just, the pushing power is there for the buildings, for the early gold. But indeed, running into the acid spray with boats and torrents and everything like that, that's just very difficult to deal with. They will try, though. The fish already going out. It is gonna be Joker already coming in. Torrent coming out as well. Scandal, Godlike, the mechanism. It's not enough to keep them up. 3 dead, nobody dies on Alliance, and they're not done yet. They're gonna go for Yol here. The Zero Shaker will land a Fisher, but that's all he can do before he is also gone. Look at the health bars of Alliance. Lucky for RoX.KIS, they don't have a mechanism yet. That's the thing they're lacking. If they would have that, I would say go for the tier 2 as well, but they can't do that because they're still too low.
I don't know if you say lucky for RoX.KIS. They just lost 4 heroes, and S4 didn't even have to use his boat. S4 is like, yeah, we'll just kill you with Torrent, with Tidebringer. Don't even need to use my boat. So that's 4 heroes gone. That's S4 is actually trying to go on Seedoy. He's got X marks, I think. No, he doesn't use it. He could have if he needed to, but
I don't think he saw him. I think he thought he was sitting in the
yeah, maybe he didn't see around the trees. Yeah, I think you're right too. But I mean, they take tier 1 tower mid without a problem. Obviously getting kills. They were all rather low, but they're back up to pretty much full now, except for the Abaddon and Aki. So EGM and Aki kind of low, but they're going to look for another tier 1 tower. Loda's working on it with Geminid attack. His Midas is done now. So this is the crazy thing, is that it's an early game lineup for the Radiant, but 3 heroes, excuse me, go Midas on Alliance's team, and they still are winning decisively.
Yeah. It's, oh, scary. That's gonna be Loda still dead. That blast combination is successful against him. Try that against an Alchemist or against a Kunkka. I doubt they'll die from it, but they have been able to catch out Loda 2 times already, so that's good for RoX.KIS. If they can get a tower off the back of this, will be even better. So far, with their heavy push lineup, they've got and a Kunkka, and a Pugna, a Chen, and Nature's Prophet, but they haven't been able to take down any towers just yet. Hopefully for them, this will be their first. Alliance looking maybe to defend, but there's only 2 heroes top, and yeah, that's not gonna be something that Alliance is gonna go for. So they'll just try to regroup and go elsewhere, or perhaps if the push continues, they will find a fight and come from the side and try to take him down. But it doesn't look like RoX.KIS is that greedy.
No, they really shouldn't be either. They should not. I know that they have to try to fight and push down towers, but the last time they did that against Alliance's lineup was in the mid lane. They all died. So, you know, the question is, what can you do for RoX.KIS? You have to find openings somehow. The split push needs to start coming out from the Nature's Prophet. Sadly, his items are nowhere near ready. He does have a Midas, however, so even if he just farms for the next couple of minutes, he can start playing that Rakdota, which we're actually used to seeing coming out from Alliance's side. They've kind of stopped with it because they know that this metagame favors more of the heavy fighting and less of the heavy split pushing. Yul's getting chased down, Geminid attack, and the Warmer are going to get thrown up on him. Yul's taking a lot of damage. He's trying to cancel his Fisher, use it. Beedsy's probably dead.
Yeah, Hand of God coming out there also to help Aki on the bottom there and keep it out from the Nature's Prophet. They get the Pugna. I mean, I like the efforts of RoX.KIS, but right now they just are looking for a needle in a haystack. They look for that opening where they can take down a tower and then back off again, and then do that so many times that they would actually get ahead at that point. But I mean, for example, who is going to be taking this game late? Like, it's going to be Alliance for sure. They are outcoring RoX.KIS. Looking at RoX.KIS, the only one that's really a bit of a carry is Scandal, and Scandal is very easily countered if you just pick up a BKB.
Yep, that's 100% accurate. It really is. And the question is not if Scandal can get farmed, but the Nature's Prophet as well. Can they start that split push? And I talked about it already. He can also semi-carry if necessary. He is going to go for the Necronomicon, and you know, it's 20 minutes in, and they've only taken, what, tier 1 tower top. So RoX.KIS, I don't want to say they've lost yet, but they are certainly, the clock's ticking, the bell's almost for them, clearly, and with an Aegis, it's going to be even more of a clear deficit that they got. They've got almost a 10,000 gold deficit right now, and a 10,000 experience deficit. That's at 18 minutes into the game, and you expect that from the way Alliance has been playing, I suppose.
Yeah, would you consider this being outplayed or outpicked? Because, I mean, the pick of RoX.KIS is not something unfamiliar. We've seen that before. But is this just being too confident in their pushing capabilities, or did they just get outlaned?
They got outplayed, I think, pretty heavily. S4 did work, Pycat, and I think they didn't realize the kill potential coming in at the top lane against Seedoy, and the dive potential as well. They tried rotating up and making it less of a massacre, but that kind of just became a problem. They keep getting killed here, as you can clearly see. So I think they got heavily outplayed by Alliance. Outpicked, sort of, maybe. I'd agree with that. But I feel like they try to go for this lineup just because it's Alliance. And they wanted to make sure they could win this game. Unfortunately, backfired for them. I mean, they got like every hero that is supposed to be good in this patch and didn't do well with it, so...
Yeah, Alliance on the other hand, I mean, picking up that Kunkka. The Alchemist and the Crystal Maiden, still two heroes that are very popular this patch. The rest is just picked up because they could. That Abaddon is working out great for them, by the way. And of course, indeed, the laning just worked out perfectly for them. They have still little tier 2 towers standing on the side of RoX.KIS. But I feel like Alliance, I mean, I get it. They are in no rush to end it, right? Because, as I said, they'd win this late game. So they don't try to necessarily push out those towers at full might, because if you start pushing with 5 heroes right now, that's the easiest way that RoX.KIS can get back into this game. If they just win one fight, they would be getting back on experience. The gold would soon follow. There would be more map space created for them, as Alliance will probably back off a bit. And that's something that Alliance cannot really afford. So they'll just play it safe, from up the entire map, take the Radiant jungle and the Dire jungle and all the lanes, and force RoX.KIS to be very careful.
Here's the kicker. Alliance never really makes that mistake. That's why Alliance is Alliance. That's why they're the TI3 champions. They don't overextend. They don't finish the game when they feel like finishing the game. They finish the game when they're ready to finish the game and when they have the items and they're ready and farmed and willing. Loda's not at his Lincoln Sphere yet, and you can bet that when he gets it, maybe they think about it, maybe they think about pushing then, but until he gets another item like that Lincoln Sphere that I'm talking about, they're not going to do it. On the other side, you're right. If they decided to push in a little earlier than RoX.KIS, yes, they win a fight and they probably take a little bit of an advantage back their way, but it's just too much to deal with as of right now, as it all is said and done. And you go back to last game with RoX.KIS and you're like, well, you just had an amazing game with 4 heroes that are really strong, and you don't go back to something similar to that. You go for a completely different monster, something that's a little bit more push oriented. Why do you change? Yes, you don't get the Elder Titan, but you know, I just don't. There's a huge discrepancy, I feel like, in their drafting strategies between the two games, at least in my opinion. So it's very strange to see.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. You said, like, they think they're up against Alliance, so they have to try something pockety. It's not really a pocket strat because it's kind of like it's known, but yeah, they have to try something specific, and it doesn't work out. Well, if they would have played their own solid game, then who knows what could have happened? Who knows how they would have done? We do have Necronomicons being built up plenty, by the way, and we saw yesterday how Necronomicons can affect the game. If there is indeed, as you mentioned, if there are too many Necronomicon warriors killed by S4, he will die. He will die. Perhaps not if he has the rum on him, actually. We'll see if that's the case. But that's something that they're gonna have to hope for. They have got Necronomicons on the Pugna. They've got one on the Chen. They've got one on the Nature's Prophet. Scandal has got a 4-staff. No Necronomicon for him, though. And Earthshaker doesn't have one either. So they've got 3 for now. They just need to level them up. They're still level 1, and Nature's Prophet has got a level 3 one. But they need to level them up and hope that they're there before Alliance reaches tier 3 towers.
Yeah, the Necro books will help significantly. I don't think that... I mean, it's not bad to pick those up. Clearly, it helps split pushing, and it's annoying. It does a lot of damage to Loda because he is a little bit squishier than the rest of his team. But Loda has his Lincoln Sphere now. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he just picked it up, so they should be ready to fight with that Aegis. They might wait for next Roche. They are going to dive down bottom, looks like. No, they're just going to go for the tier 2 tower. They probably back off, defend tier 2 top after this. Yeah, this is extraordinarily just a safe play. They're not even going to go for this tower just yet. They will have to defend top. They do have a fortification on both teams, actually. And Loda is going to come down. I don't expect to see them forcing a fight into the tier 3. Yeah, you can see Pyket's already rotated top. He's going to try to defend this. He doesn't know that they're maybe all here.
Kills
the ward smartly. Yeah.
Indeed, doing a good job. Let's see who gets an Necronomical Warrior. It's a tower. Lucky for Alchemist. I don't think he would have died from it, but oh well. Tower drops bottom, tower does not drop top. And, oh, Pycat. Dude, you're running in 3-on-1. He will get the stun off, but he'll get stunned instead. Now realizes he might be in slightly over his head. The Fisher, still keeping him safe, blocking him in. Sprout is there as well. Where is his team? Where is the backup? S4 is on its way. They're gonna try to come in. Another stun being charged by Pycat. Seedoy will not be able to teleport out. Will be taken down. S4 locked in position by the Fisher. Seedoy still taken down, but it looks like the other two should be able to make it out safe. Indeed, Yul is able to run behind the tier 2 tower. Safe indeed. The rest of Alliance already starting on the tier 2 middle.
Yep. So kill, they back off. They didn't, back off together. So Sudoi pays for his team's mistakes as well as a little bit of his own mistake, and that's just an easy kill going for them. And now 4 staff forward. They want to try to fight maybe, and they're just killed Chen Creep. It looks like.
Nah, you got sent home, I think, in time. Whoa, Loda, what are you doing? Sending down Crypt Swarm. Scandal. Let's mark the spot. Stun getting charged up as well. No hope for him. He just didn't have a chance to do anything in that fight. BZZ on the outskirts of his base, also not able to get away from that. It's just not possible. If they catch you out by either X marks the spot, unless there's BKBs up, which there aren't, then they're not going to be able to do anything about it. Scandal is the only one that can help with that. Maybe Earthshaker as well, but the Astral Imprisonment is needed to keep people kind of safe. And if you're going to be the one to throw out that Astral Imprisonment and you're going to be the one stunned off, no can do.
Well, there's only one tier 2 tower left on the map, and Loda doesn't have an Aegis anymore, but they're diving anyway.
They are diving anyway. Yep. Now goes the Earthshaker, not even having time to throw out his Fisher this time. Unlike the other time, starting on the tier 3s, there is fortification. In the meantime, Cedo indeed, he will get the tier 2 top. But, I mean, he doesn't have anything apart from a Necronomicon, so he doesn't have the power to split push against the lineup of Alliance this time. The run for Alliance boat itself didn't really do that much, as actually Jen gets picked up on the back. That was just Pycat in the back of the fight, basically fighting his own battles there. EGM has to run back home, and actually self-stun coming out on Pycat. They can't go in on that though. RoX.KIS, they are happy enough that Alliance left them alone for now. Give them some more time to get their Necronomicons in place.
So, it's all said and done now. They grab a lot of kills for Alliance. They don't break the base just yet. They do a bit of tower damage to the tier 3. Roshan's going to be up in, well, we don't know how long just yet. Might have shown on the side. I didn't see though.
Nope,
the wave was getting pushed to up. They have to deny the tier 1 bottom. So, Alliance is just doing some house cleaning currently. They're just backing off and saying, listen, we got to clean some stuff up, but we'll be back, don't worry. Just give us a couple minutes. Actually, Roche respawns in 45 seconds, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
So very quick respawn time. Look at that.
And that gives them enough time to as you said, like push the lanes out again. Make sure that they're not gonna get surprised by any kind of split pushing that goes too far, and then they can just go. Better yet, they might even just go on the top lane, making sure that there's not gonna be any split pushing at all. But maybe they'll trade a tier 2 tower, which is definitely worth taking a game over. Oh god,
yeah,
this Alchemist is starting to, if he wasn't already, which he actually is, looking at the net worth graph, but he is really fat. He's got his Assault Grass, Sanjin Yasha, Shadowblade, and 2,500 gold to boot. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, that is farmed. And Nahaz threw a stat up talking about Sanjin Yasha and of course the win rate with Alchemist. And he said that it's a stomp it / luxury item, and I disagree a little bit. I certainly think it's a snowball item. I'd say if you get it, it helps you snowball even further. But here we go, a bit of a fight happening in the mid lane.
Yeah, boat only hits up on Goblak, but it is Earthshaker that they want. The mechanism will keep him safe. The Echo Slam still comes out actually, with almost Alchemist going down, but he does have his chemical rage up again. It is, however, RoX.KIS that's trying to chase down people. Aki will be kept alive. Now it's turned around. Freezing field from Aki will kill off the OD. Will still be able to go down though. That's the Nature's Prophet, at least getting a kill there. But it's a 4-for-1 with only the Pugna to stay alive. He got sent home by the Gen, I believe. He is also the one with the mechanism, was able to use it before. To try and help the Earthshaker stay alive, but he's not going to be able to stop Alliance from pushing into this. No Roche. Alliance, they're not leaving right now.
Yeah, Alliance were okay with just sitting back and getting Roshan, getting an Aegis, and then just taking the game as long as they needed to be taken. But RoX.KIS decided to go outside of their base, and it's a bit of a mistake considering they lost that. Alright, that's okay. Well, Nahaz is right though. You don't build it first generally. You don't go for it. You don't rush an SNY. I don't think rushing SNY is like that's definitely not something you would do.
Actually,
yeah, I'd say it's
before TI 3, Loda rushed SNY sometimes on his gyrocopter before going for a Divine Rapier by the way. Before going for an Ethereal Blade.
He went for wait on a gyro.
Yes.
SNY Blade.
I actually, I casted the group stages, and I suggested that at some point he got himself an eagle horn, and I suggested to like just in the cast that he was probably gonna go for an ethereal blade because I had seen him do that quite a lot, and the chat flamed me completely until he actually went for an ethereal blade. And
so he was listening to you. There you go. There you go.
What?
So.
The ninth time. Ninth time?
That seems
low.
Very low. Yeah. But then again, I guess you don't build Rapier that much on Alchemist. He's not kind of the Rapier carrier,
True.
But I guess no one really is.
Well, we also have Rapier on the Reaver, because they can.
I haven't seen this a whole lot from Alliance building Rapiers.
I think it's Pycat having a bad influence or good influence on Alliance.
Yeah, it must be. He's the bad boy.
Yeah.
LGD bad boy over here.
I think so too. Well, boats are gonna fly a nice Fisher though. If RoX.KIS can actually get a kill and get a Rapier on their Nature's Prophet, hey, who knows what's gonna happen? Oh, Scandal. No, Astral Imprisonment. Delay of execution. Is it gonna be enough? Is it gonna be successful? BKB turned on by S4. Scandal already dead. Looking for more. X mark the spot. Acro Slam still comes out. Loda. He will not die. He will time-lapse, and he still has an Aegis. Nature's Prophet dies, and that's gonna be everybody dead. Double kills for the lot of them, and Alliance will take their 5th victory here in StarLadder Star Series. We'll see them again, though. We'll see them up against QPAD.
Well, what can you say other than just outplayed? And that's Alliance. That is just, they take everything they can get. They grab kills. They dive early on in the game. They play exciting Dota. They grab Rapiers, and that's it. GG for the first game for them today. And they take down RoX.KIS, who, like I said, they had a great draft in the first game of the day, but for some reason they decided to switch it up, and they didn't play their game. They played a game which was certainly not the game that should have been played for this kind of lineup, and they get punished for it. So they have a bit of a rough game. RoX.KIS, they're still doing okay, I believe, in its standings right now, but Alliance is on a roll, as they should be. Alliance, of course, the defending TI3 champs, so looking forward to watching them once again, Sheever.
Yeah, it will be a good game. We'll jump ourselves right in there. Well, I say that, and I look at the clock, and I realize that this was a fairly fast game. That means that we have got, again, a bit of a break before we jump ourselves to the next game. Official starting time is in about 18 minutes from now. So, we'll have a bit of a break indeed. We'll be right back, though, with the game, and in between then, of course, I'll throw some music and commercials at you. Actually, I forgot to do commercials so far. Shame on me. Anyways, here we go.